Okay, let's lift it up and drop it. Boom, blue screen. Hey guys, here's another video I didn't intend to make for YouTube. I was just sort of documenting what I was doing, but something interesting happened and decided to put it online. So this is a Lenovo Legion 5 with a Series 13 CPU and a 4070 NVIDIA GPU. I bought this used kind of cheap because a guy said it was crashing all the time. I looked online and found that there's a lot of issues with these, either crashing or not starting, and some people are finding out they need to completely reball the CPU, and other times there's like a firmware update for the machine and also for the GPU. So I got this home, turned it on, and right away that's not a crash right there. That's a result of it crashing a couple times and not finishing a reset. So I hit try again, and it tried again, and looked like it was trying to go back to factory defaults and then blue screen. So I said, okay, well, it's exactly what the guy said. It would periodically crash, not always at the same time. So I thought, okay, let's try reload it. So I'm playing the video in a little fast forward, so things are not quite in real time all the time. So if you're using this video to kind of guide what you're doing with your Legion, if it's crashing, keep in mind that it's happening faster on my screen in some cases. So I got this other error, which is basically it couldn't finish the reset and not all data was wiped. So I just hit OK and started it up again to see if it would get past it or not. And see that USB stick, I was ready to reload Windows from scratch from that USB. So it had that error again, so I thought, you know what, let's just reload it. So turned it off, stuck the USB stick in, and started a Windows install from the USB, because I wanted to see at what point would it crash. Was it graphical that crashed? You know, did basic text prompts and copying to the hard drive do anything? Did detecting hardware crash? So chose the hard drive, wiped it out, started the Windows install, and then I'm going to skip ahead a little bit soon, but it seemed like it installed Windows, and then right at the end when it was going to boot, it crashed a few times, wanted me to recover, so I did. And the last step after installing Windows, it started up, asked me to change my password, seemed like everything was okay, and it booted into Windows. Didn't crash, but there were no drivers installed, so I thought, okay, let's go ahead. And I did not connect this to Wi-Fi right away. I got the drivers separately on a USB stick because I didn't want Windows to reach out to the internet and start doing things and downloading things. So I went one by one and installed the drivers, like for the camera, audio, the Intel, what is it, the IME, I forget what it's called, whatever that engine is for the Intel board. And then I also did a BIOS update because I found that this was on the original BIOS for the machine, which was like 2 years old or something, 3 years old. And in retrospect, I should have been more careful with this, because if it crashed during the BIOS, I'm not sure, but there's supposed to be some kind of recovery option in case it crashes. But in any case, it actually updated the BIOS fine. And again, keep in mind that this is a little faster. The video is running faster. So if you update your BIOS and you see that it starts blinking the keyboard like that and there's nothing on screen, that's normal. And it might stay like that for about a minute. So don't turn off your machine if you're updating your BIOS. So since this is fast forwarded, it came on faster, and you know, I just don't want to hang around in this video and have it lag for like a minute. Anyway, so we logged back in. I continued loading drivers, and I also opened the device manager. I should open it soon just to see how many unknown devices are still there. There's quite a lot. You see that big list on that side? That's all unknown devices. So as I'm installing drivers, those slowly go away. The last things that I installed were the Intel video driver and also the NVIDIA video driver. So I think there were like maybe 12 or to 15 different pieces of software I had installed for drivers. When I installed the NVIDIA driver, I noticed that it was a specific one from Lenovo, and I did see online people were having issues with the NVIDIA driver from NVIDIA. But I also saw that there was a video BIOS that you could update excuse me, from Lenovo. So I went ahead and got that. And first they say to check the existing video BIOS, and you do that with not the NVIDIA app, but the NVIDIA control panel, I think it is. And I'll do that in a little while. Here we go. Here's the NVIDIA control panel. If you look under video BIOS version, the one that ends in 0A is the original one that came with this laptop. And that is not the one that you need to have the NVIDIA drivers from NVIDIA. My understanding is that the video BIOS update is necessary for the newer versions of the NVIDIA drivers. So I went ahead and did that install. And you can see it popped up in a DOS window, and you'll see the version numbers on screen soon. And once again, this is in fast motion, so if it hangs for like a minute, just let it go. Alright, so we updated the system BIOS and also the video BIOS to the latest version. And I'm surprised that the shop that the guy that I bought this from took it to didn't do this, because they just went out and said you need a new motherboard. At this point in my testing, I didn't know whether that was true or not. Looking online on Reddit forums, there's two issues people are having. The machine either doesn't boot at all and they reball the CPU and it works, or it randomly crashes, and it could be software, because there were some known software issues like in certain games which some of these things fix. Or you might be crashing because of the same CPU issue, because there's epoxy in the corners that I guess lift up and cause the CPU to not contact properly, or there's there's cold solder joints that aren't consistent, and it's not always the same solder point that gets disconnected, so the crash or the issue might be different for everybody. But I see a lot of people chasing software issues, reinstalling Windows and such, but it really is a CPU issue. Okay, so I'm installing a few things here that I'm going to use to test. The NVIDIA app is going to detect the NVIDIA card, make sure I have the right NVIDIA driver now that I updated the VBIOS. And I'm also going to, oh, and by the way, I'm just double checking here to make sure that the video BIOS version did update, and it did. It's on version ending in 9.8, so that's good. Now I'm going to test some of the hardware. There's a couple of things I'm using to test. One is the NVIDIA app is going to look at the GPU to make sure it can look at all its sensors and whatnot. There's also an application on the Microsoft Store, and I should open it up soon. It's performance test by it's escaping me who makes that. It'll show up on screen, then you'll see it right after this. I'm just making sure I'm sending this to the studio driver. That's more stable for things like AI. And I was just double checking to make sure the driver is set in the device manager. Okay, skipping ahead. Okay, we're in the Windows Store now, Microsoft Store, and I'm downloading and installing Performance Test. At the same time, I'm going to make sure I get from Lenovo's website the Lenovo Diagnostics, and I'm going to run that real quick, or install and run it. And that's this here, and there's a bunch of tests like testing your audio card, testing your camera, testing your motherboard, testing your memory, testing your basic CPU functions and such, because I figured if something's wrong with any of these devices, that a test of the device might cause the blue screen. But I went through all the tests I could and no blue screen. I'm going through them really quickly. You don't have to actually see the test. Oh, there's a video test. And that's just testing basic like ANSI graphics. I think ANSI graphics. No, I don't think it's ANSI graphics. That's just colors. I don't know what kind of graphics it is. But this, the performance, oh, but Passmark, that's what it is. The Passmark performance test. Test the CPU, memory, SSD, and video, and DirectX. So I figured running this, if it was gonna crash for a video problem, this was gonna do it. So CPU passed. The memory is gonna pass, and it doesn't do a comprehensive memory test. But I wanted to go through all of these first before doing the video. Okay, so I mean, and it also gives me kind of a bird's eye view of what this machine rates, you know, compared to other people that have run the tests. And you know, it's pretty average in the end, but still not bad. Okay, the SSD is not the fastest, but it works. Now what we're looking for is the video. It does a separate 2D and then 3D test. So let's do the 2D graphics, and again this is sped up, so if you run these tests on your Lenovo, it's gonna run slower than this. And there's time needed to load some of the tests, so if it seems like it's paused and it goes for like half a minute, just let it go. And one reason I'm putting this video up is so that if you're having an issue, I'd like you to comment what kind of issue you're having. You think it's the same thing, it's different. You've run these tests, it crashes, it doesn't crash. Again, everyone's symptoms might be different, because if it is a CPU problem, it might be a different pin causing trouble on your CPU than my CPU. Okay, so that was the 3D graphics right here. And everything's running fine, so I don't think the graphics controller is having an issue, at least not yet. So, being that I can't get it to crash, yet I know it crashed before, and the guy that sold it to me had it crash. He told me it always crashes within a few minutes after starting, but yet I'm not experiencing that. So I'm like wondering why. I reloaded it, so maybe that's it. So after all of that, I tried to do Windows updates, because online people were also saying that they think their crashing started after Windows updates. I don't know what would have caused that. You know, maybe there's some microcode that handles the processor different, and a function that it wasn't always used is suddenly used and it crashed. But anyway, that worked out fine, so I decided to open it up and give it a quick look, make sure there's no like cat hair or something. I've actually had a cat hair short out or cause a static along a DIMM that caused random crashing when a certain memory block was used. So anyway, I'm just opening this up to see what SSDs are in there and if they're in well, if they're crooked or there's hair or something. Everything looked pretty clean. I saw signs of somebody else opening it and bending things, but nothing fatal. Looking at this, I noticed, okay, the memory, the guy said that it was upgraded to 32 gigs of RAM, so I wanted to take a look and see how well they placed it. It looks fine. I didn't bother taking it out. I put it back, and then when I was putting it back, I noticed, look at how much that motherboard bends. Look at that. I guarantee you, when somebody put the RAM in, they were bending it. And the CPU and the GPU are right in the middle of the board, right where the bend is probably the worst. And we're taking a quick look at the SSD there. I noticed this ribbon cable, which I don't know if that's the keyboard or the mouse or what, but it's crooked. So I just straightened it and putting everything back, trying not to bend everything. I already bent it, basically, so I was thinking, well, maybe that bending is the problem, that flex. along the middle where the CPU is. And starting everything up again, it blue screened right away. That didn't happen before. The multiple times it rebooted, suddenly it blue screened, but then it worked. So it's intermittent. So trying to recreate this, I thought, well, let's look to see if there's anything that crashed before it blue screened in the event logs. Couldn't find anything. It was almost like nothing happened. It just stopped and started again, which tells me the system probably froze. So look, it froze right at the startup. And then now it goes automatic repair. I let it finish its automatic repair. And oh, there we go. That was not blue screen. That was an automatic repair. Now it's not frozen. So again, intermittent. So I thought, let's see if we can knock it around. And I lifted it up. When it was starting, I lifted it up just a little bit on the back corner and dropped it. And blue screen. So it might be the flex on the CPU. Let's see if we can reproduce this. Okay, so we're letting it start, not doing anything. It blue screen last time. This time it goes to recovery. That's not a blue screen. We'll just let it automatically recover, start again. Starting. Here's the part to watch carefully. I'm in real time now, we're not sped up. It's starting up. It's not blue screening. It didn't freeze like last time. Last time it froze right on that circle. And it didn't even blue screen, it just froze on the circle. This time it's going. It starts up. And then I'm going to try to blue screen it right now. Okay, let's lift it up and drop it. Boom, blue screen. So this is physical, this is not software. Software is not going to do that. So I think a lot of the people that are having issues and they can't fix it with software, but your system is intermittently starting, you probably have a loose CPU. And you either need to go fiddle with it, tap it, or have it reballed or something. So I'm going to maybe do a second part 2 video for this, and maybe do it with maybe reball. You know what, why don't I just reball this CPU in a part 2 coming soon? What do you guys think?